everyone, welcome to Jack Literary Corner. I am Jackie, and if you watched my previous video, I recently talked about the tale of the Sorcerer's Apprentice and the tale of the Magician's Assistant. So now I'm going to talk about the tale of the Dark Music and the tale of the Dark Dragon. Now, Tale of Dark Music is more creepy, like a typical Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, and the Tale of the Dark Dragon is more fantastical. But monsters, and there's really no monster in the episode. I mean, I guess you could say the villain is the potion itself, the magic potion, but I will get to that in a minute. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the Tale of the Dark Music, which again is more creepy and more typical Are You Afraid of the Dark horror. So, this is the story of Andy, his mom, and his baby sister, who was a real brat, and I want to smack that little brat. I could not stand her. She was so disrespectful to her mother, and I just hated I just hated the little bitch. Let me just say that. So, Andy's mom inherits a house from her uncle Niles, who she barely knew. The last time she saw them, she was the same age as her daughter. And he was a bit eccentric. He made a lot of money. But then he suddenly just died. He just stopped living, and they don't know why. So they inherit the house, and everything's going alright, But of course, Andy attracts the attention of the neighborhood bully, who basically implies to him that they were glad his uncle kicked the bucket, and because he is related to the man, he's guilty by association. Like, no one wants him here. Of course, that's just the bully. Who, typical bully fashion, he was bullied by his own father. So Andy, one night at the house when they're kind of trying to get it together, his mom asked Andy, well, first, here's one of the bratty moments from the sister. Okay, so the mom first asked his sister, Christine, to go down. She's playing a video game that you could probably pause. And she's like, Christina, can you go down there? And she's like, Mom, I'm busy. And the mom just looks at her like, she reacts like an older sister would. She doesn't act like a mom. She's not like, excuse me, young lady? Don't talk to me like that. No, she doesn't say that. She just gives her this look. It's like, what the hell? You're supposed to tell your kid what to do. They're your child. They're a little girl. She's not an adult yet, so you can tell her what to do. It's like, no, I can never get away with that. If I say anything like that, if I say I'm busy working on something, then my mom will be like, no, get your butt down here. No, I asked you to do this. You're going to do this. But no, this woman, who is the mom of this little girl, is like, Now, of course, this gets Andy to go downstairs. So, go down to the basement. So, he starts playing. So, he, unfortunately, is the one who ends up having to go down there. And his sister has the nerve to make fun of her brother and be like, what's the matter, Andy? Afraid of the dark? It's like, honey, you should have been the one going down there in the first place. Because your mom asked you. And it's like, I want to smack her. It's like, oh my god, you are such a little brat. And it's not even like the Crimson Clown where, you understand the mom's naivety. Like, in the Tale of the Crimson Clown, the mom still took on a disciplinary role. You understood her not being aware, But anyway, I will get to that in a little bit. I'll talk about that episode later. So Annie goes downstairs and, finds an old radio and starts playing music. And then all of a sudden he hears this disembodied voice coming from the root cellar saying, hello, Andy. And of course, he freaks out. It ends up breaking the old music, I don't know, I can't remember what it's called, what kind of musical device it's called, but he ends up breaking it, so the voice stops, stops talking to him, so he takes off, and his mom discovers the root cellar and everything, which you later find out is the exact place where you found Uncle Niles, by the root cellar. Dun dun dun, what is that that even mean? So Andy is once again doing his paper route, and as usual, and then he accidentally, once again, I'm trying to remember how so he attracts the attention of the bully. Once again, he accidentally, I don't know if this is the scene where I accidentally, well, I guess it doesn't matter because I really don't need to be doing a play-by-play. But he once again gets the bully's attention, and the bully decides to proceed to beat him up. So he takes off running again and hides in the cellar in the roots. He takes off again and goes back home and hides in the root cellar. So once again, he's down in the basement because I guess his bratty sister probably said, I'm too busy, Mom. And he starts playing music again. And all of a sudden, while he's playing music and doing something down there, like doing laundry or something, this creepy, huge-ass doll comes out slowly and gets Andy's attention. And she's like, come play with me, Andy. Come on. It's just so, which is like really creepy, which is a freak on because it's a giant doll. It's so creepy. But then the mom somehow, the mom comes home wanting to know what Andy's doing down there, why he's taking so long. So she stops the music, and the doll once again gets sucked into the root cellar. So eventually he ends up down there again, and he's playing music again, and then once again this mysterious voice from the root cellar door opens up, and you see this really cool carnival type setting and everything. The ringmaster, whatever he would be called, is like, come on in, Andy, come join the fun. We got rides, we got games, we got great food and stuff. Come in. And Andy is, he's once again hypnotized and everything. And then all of a sudden, the ringmaster turns into a skeleton and is like, come on, Andy. He tries to pull him in, and Andy freaks out. Stops the music, once again, somehow stops the music, and he comes to the realization that it's music. It's music that gets the attention of whatever is in the root cellar, this mysterious creature. And he runs to go tell his mother. He takes his bike and rides over to where his mom works to go tell her, or wherever she's at. But, of course, he runs into the bully again, which, Coda is his name, actually. And Coda chases him down once again, or, actually, this might have been the moment where he accidentally splashes water while Coda's cleaning the steps of his house. He splashes the soapy water on the kid, or I don't remember. Or no, this was when he threw a newspaper at him, and then the newspaper tips the bucket on accident. And that might have been the scene also where he destroys, where in his anger, Coda takes Andy's bike and throws it in front of a garbage truck and destroys the bike. The bike is destroyed, which that is important, by the way. So he decides, he's fed up with this. He is totally fed up with Coda bothering him. So he, realizing what brings the monster out, the creature in the root cellar, he, gets Coda's attention and lures him back to his house into the root cellar. And his intention is just to scare the guy. He doesn't, he just wants to freak him out a little bit so that maybe Coda will leave Andy alone. He rigs the music system where it will be really loud and everything, and will automatically come on. But then there's, he does it all, and he stops it, and you hear Coda screaming, and then he's like, had enough, Coda? After he stops it. And he comes downstairs, and guess what? There's a nice shiny new bicycle that is the same color of Coda. He has Coda the blonde guy with a black t-shirt on. And the bike is black and yellow. It's a nice shiny new bike. And the disembodied voice of the creature in the root cellar is opens the door and is like, Andy, I can give you whatever you want. You only have to do one thing for me. Feed me. So it's a little shop of horrors going on here. So his sister comes home. He's thinking about this. Then he hears his sister coming home, and she's like, Andy, you gotta make me dinner. If you don't, I'm gonna tell on you if it's not good. So next thing, the camera pans back to Andy. He's got this creepy little grin on his face and a glint in his eye. Now, the narrator of the story, when we get back to the Midnight Society, is all like, because remember, all these stories are being told by the Midnight Society. When we get back to the Midnight Society, the other members ask our narrator, Eric, they're like, he didn't really feed his sister to the creature, did he? And Eric says no, but he made sure Christina would never bother him again. But, and Kiki said the little brat deserved it, which I totally agree, by the way. So, but this is a kid's show. They're not going to do anything that bad. So they're not going to have a kid actually get eaten by a monster. Although Goosebumps has apparently done that before, though. But they were, they have their limits. They're going to be as family-friendly as possible, but still be scary at the same time. So, again, this was an episode that I really liked because, as I said before in the previous video, a lot of these episodes are more just, I just like the episodes. The concept, the stories behind the episodes are really good. I really enjoyed those. This one, the acting is okay, and like I said, it drove me crazy. The mom was just like, when the daughter was acting rude and disrespectful to her mom, the mom was just like, whatever, Andy, why don't you go do it? Why don't you go take care of it for me, please? It's like, no, you asked your daughter, and, she could have stopped her game. She could have paused the freaking game. Yes, I know for a lot of kids it's probably annoying, because, when I'm reading a book, I hate being interrupted. But I know there's no way I can get away with being now as an adult, my mom and dad are probably like, okay, yeah, well, guess what? You're going to miss dinner. It's going to be cold, or you're not going to eat with us. Whatever. I'm not dealing with this because you're an adult. You just have me you're just living with us and everything. We're not going to wait for you. But as a kid, my mom's going to be like, unless I'm taking a shower, my mom's going to be like, no, get your butt down here. So the mom in this episode, she should have been like, no, I asked you to do this. You can play your game later. She should have put the damn game on pause. The girl could have done that. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I think with video games, you can put your game on pause. Or, you know what, too bad, what your mom requests comes first. It's like, I want to smack her. And as Kiki said, she deserves to be eaten by the creature in the basement. That's all I gotta say. Maybe that's a little harsh, but you know what, she was a brat. So, but the acting is okay, it's not that great, it's very cliche and stuff, and it's silly and it's fun, but I love the idea of the creature in the basement eating people. That's so terrifying, but so cool. There's actually a Goosebumps episode, / book about a growing blob that eats people, too. I never saw it, I never read the book. But yeah, it's kind of the same thing. This blob eats people. But, and I also like the ending of the episode. You don't know what Andy's going to do next. Of course, if this episode continued, it might have been one of the situations where, typical of these stories where the guy starts to have second thoughts, but then he ends up getting, put on the monster's radar to be eaten as well. I'm guessing that's what happened to Uncle Niles. He was probably having second thoughts and got eaten by the monster. Or maybe it was one of these things where he just happened to forget to feed the monster and, got eaten himself. I don't know. But anyway, I love the ending of the episode. It was so creepy seeing, that look on Andy's face and then hearing his sister coming home, and just, it was so creepy, wondering, oh my god, did he feed his sister to the creature? To the monster? I would. Okay, so the next one is called The Tale of the Dark Dragon. Like I said, this one is more fantastical, more mystical. So you have our favorite character. I mean, not why did I say favorite character? You have our main character. Our protagonist is Keith. He is this average, nice kid. Does pretty well in school. But he was in an accident before the episode starts. He was in a bad car accident, which has forced his leg to. He has to wear a brace on his leg. So he's, and he has a really, because of that, it gives him a really bad outlook on life. He's probably a little depressed. So he's just, he doesn't, he can't do a lot of sports or anything, and, his friends probably feel sorry for him and everything, and that's probably the last thing he wants. He doesn't want a pity party. And of course, he naturally likes Shelly, who's the pretty blonde girl at the school. She's popular and everything, but she's dating Gary, who's the school athlete. But at the timeline of the episode, Gary's being a pain. He's being kind of a douchebag. Like, there's a school dance coming up, and he still has not asked Shelly to the dance. And he is basically taking Shelly for granted. So Keith he would love to be, if he had the courage, he would love to ask Shelly out during this opportune time, but he's too afraid of rejection. And he realized that Shelly probably just sees him as a nice guy, Keith's not a bad looking guy, he's kind of cute, So he also has his best friend Mariah, who's his next door neighbor, who really cares about him, and is totally in love with him. But he doesn't see Mariah in that way. So, Keith hears about, through an advertisement in the local newspaper, he sees an advertisement for a local, in the local magic shop, which this is the same, which is for a magical potion, and enters Sardo. No Mr. Accent on the dough. Our famous Sardo, the same Sardo from the Super Specs, who is totally clueless and does not realize that a lot of his products actually do work, just not how he thought they would. So Keith goes to see him, and he gets the magic potion from them, which has this rule, only one drop, and he gets the potion and everything, and he does the one drop thing, and all of a sudden he's like this cool, confident, good-looking guy, nice hair and everything. I mean, really all he does is change the style of his hair and dress differently and loses the leg brace. And he comes up with the identity of his cousin Casey, and he's able to confidently approach Shelly and kind of flirt with her a little bit. And Mariah sees this, and Mariah's a little like, oh, I didn't know you had a cousin. But then the next morning the potion wears off, and it turns out of course, the potion has consequences. So it turns out he has these markings somewhere on his flesh. I don't remember. It's kind of gross. It's really and so he decides, because of that, he's not gonna take the potion. He decides, this isn't worth it. But then Shelly seems to be showing interest in him, in KC. So she even calls him and asks, would you, ask if KC is there. So he takes on the persona again and goes on a date with Shelly. And because Gary has not asked her out, he asked Shelly out on a date to the school dance. And she says yes. And she's really excited because Casey's this cute, sexy, hot kid. But then, of course, the magic potion has worse effects on Keith. He has excessive hair growth, and he's starting to grow what looks like scales on his flesh. So he misses school to go to Sardo, and they learn that he must defeat the dark dragon within to become the best version of himself, which is what the potion's supposed to do. It makes you the best version of yourself. So Mariah's been keeping an eye on him because she's really worried. She really cares about Keith, and like I said, she's totally in love with the guy. And at this point, he's really starting to transform. He's really starting to become this creature, this dark dragon, which, by the way, it's weird because he looks like a cross between a bird, a goblin, and a troll. It's really creepy. So she tries to talk to him, and he's like, no one can help me. It's too late for me. But he's still trying to go through with this and everything, and be able to have this chance with Shelly and all that. And they go to the dance, and Mariah follows them to the dance and sees him taking the potion. So, because she doesn't know how the potion works and the rules, she takes the whole bottle, and she also transforms. So Casey is dancing with Shelly and everything, and having a good time, and it was all like, oh my god, this is the best moment of my life because this is his dream girl and everything. But then Gary comes, for some reason, which I don't get this. This doesn't make any sense to me, because what kind of school dance only has one award? And it's not even an award, it's just a random one. It was it was a way to get the character of Gary on the stage. Because he's like the star athlete of the school. So, the principal is all, it's time to give her an award for best athlete. It's like, and maybe in defense of this, maybe this particular school does awards periodically throughout the dance. So maybe that's why. I don't know. But I think it's kind of silly because, most schools, in my experience, every high school drama I've seen, and I never went to my own school dances, so I don't know. Or at least not the major ones, not like homecoming or anything like that. But or at least on TV, in most cases, whenever they do this, they do the awards all at the same time. It's like homecoming king, queen, homecoming princess and prince, and all that kind of stuff. So Gary goes up there and, he gets the award. Naturally, he gets the award for best athlete because he's the top athlete at the school, conveniently. And he says, I like to dedicate this award to Shelly. And it's like, what the hell? Of course you do. It's like, and of course you can't say no to that. Because, and you know what? He's probably going to turn it, realistically speaking, yeah, in that moment, he's going to be really sweet and everything, and Shelly couldn't say no to that, but then he's going to turn around and do something more, another douchey thing again. It's like, what the hell? It's like, of course, But then again, these are high school kids, so. So she apologized to Casey, and she's really sorry, and everything goes down. So once again, even though he's Casey, he still gets rejected by Shelly. Gary was a little smart ass, and is all like, oh, I'm gonna, by the way, I'm gonna put Shelly on the spot so she can't say no. She can't reject me. So, they dance together, and they're back together. But then Mariah comes in, and she's looking all beautiful, cute little white dress, reminding me a little bit of, I'm having a, it reminds me of West Side Story. It's kind of like a West Side Story moment, except without all the other kids doing the big group dance. So she shows up in the cute little white dress, no glasses or anything, because she wears glasses throughout the whole episode until she transforms. Her transformation involves taking off her glasses, wearing a cute dress, and doing her hair, styling her differently, which, okay, yeah, it goes back to what I've said before, which is, they only got 30 minutes, it's a kid's show, they can't do a lot with their transformation scene. They can't really alter a person's appearance that much. So, the two of them are dancing, and he does not realize, and I guess he doesn't recognize, I don't think he recognizes her at first, but then she starts talking, and she's all like, isn't it so weird that everyone's staring at us? And she, was all like, I didn't have the courage to say this before, but I love you, and everything. They start dancing. But then, because she drank the whole dang on bottle, her transformation happens a lot quicker. Which, by the way, no, it's not a sexist thing, okay? She drank the whole dang on bottle, so of course her transformation is going to happen quicker. I remember reading a comment where they were like, oh, of course, she's all ugly, but Keith's all good looking. No, to me, it was more about the fact that she drank the whole bottle. Did you forget that part? I find that they always have to turn it into something like sexist or racist or something. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. So she takes the whole bottle, and her transformation is starting to happen, and Keith is freaking out because he realized, oh my god, something's happening. Mariah's been my best friend. I don't want to lose her. And he is forced to admit that the reason why he did that, she asks him, why did you do this and everything, and he's forced to admit that he took it because he didn't like who he was. He had trouble accepting himself. Because, he hated his life now. He had to wear the leg brace, after the whole accident, how it affected him, and he really was hating on himself. And, of course, she's all like, well, she's in her weakened state, in her transformative state, she's like, I don't hate you. I don't hate you. Which I think that's pretty obvious considering that she, of course, she's probably, it's probably to get the point across, that you should love yourself, and I don't, and her being like, I don't hate you, is reassuring him, but you're supposed to love yourself first before you let anyone else in. And that's Keith's problem is he didn't love himself. He hated himself. So he couldn't really let Mariah or even Shelley in if there was anything more between the two of them, because he hated himself. He didn't feel good about himself. So he was only trying to make himself look better than he was. A better version of who he was, but doing going the easy route. He wasn't accepting who he was, because the only way I feel like you can become the best version of yourself, which is what the point of the potion was, is if you love yourself, if you start accepting yourself. And he didn't love himself. He didn't accept himself. He was changing himself not because he felt like he had to, because he wanted to live up to everyone else's expectations. So he wasn't trying to be, he wasn't accepting who he was. But Mariah did accept him for who he was and loved him for who he was. And it's so cute. This one is just, I like this one because I love the message. And it's very sweet, a cute little love story. It's kind of cheesy, but it's still really sweet and very nice. And it's like a cross between Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Beauty and the Beast, I feel like. And I also have a soft spot for that kind of story. And I just think it was really sweet. And I think the whole idea of the metaphor of turning into the dark dragon is it's different. It's a little different than just turning into a beast or whatever. Or turn into an ugly, crueler version of you, like your darker self. Instead of doing that, they did this whole dark dragon thing, which I think is a really cool idea, really cool and different concept. So, those are 2 more episodes that I really liked on Are You Afraid of the Dark. If you guys ever watched the show, please share with me some of your favorite episodes of the show. And I hope you guys are enjoying your reading. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and click subscribe if you hadn't already. And much love to my already subscribed followers. And I will talk to you all later.